But this is the big one, the men's final, and it really is going to be very interesting. Terry Hunt from England against Australia's Quinten Hann. And everybody is very excited to see Quinten Hann playing. He's played snooker, of course, 26 in the world in that. But can he become the world 8-ball pool champion? Who can know? Anyway, we'll find out very soon. With me to enjoy it is Alan Bartlett. And welcome along board. It is very exciting, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. This is the match. Quinten Hann. Most people wanted to see him in the final. Terry Hunt, been out of form for the last year, but he's flown back to form here at the World Championships, and I can't wait to see it. Well,
one thing we do know is that there'll be a new name on the trophy, and many great players have been on that trophy, including these men. Kevin Wright won it in '93. Rob McKenna, 94, and he also won it in '97. Daz Ward in '95, and of course, last year, young Carl Morris was the world champion. So a lot of great players, but how good do you have to be to win it? Well, these two men are definitely the men on form at the moment. Terry Hunt, take a look at this, Alan. This is the sort of style we saw him in the semi-final against Carl Morris. Brilliant.
Yes, playing very well, Terry, this week. You can't fault him. As I say, he's been out of form a little bit, but look at the precision. Every ball looking. He sees what's going on the table at all times. He's looking down there. He's aware what's going on at this end. He's looking, he's picking his spot. And I don't think he'll be overawed by this world final at all.
Down the rails, not a problem.
Easy, isn't it? Can you do that?
Not at all, no.
Here's a bigger one, look. All the way, past the middle pocket, all the way, and slots it into the corner.
Brilliant stuff by him. 3 semi-finalists and finally a chance to get in the final. Terry Hunt is very hungry for this. But what about his opponent, Quinten Hann of Australia? He has been superb throughout this tournament and really, in my mind, has put on the best displays so far. Here's a look at him in his semi-final against Yannick Beaufils of France. Look at some of these shots.
Well, this shot here is amazing. To be honest, I think he thought he'd blown that match at that stage. He's played that shot, he'd ran out of position, and suddenly he got it back on the road with that shot. In the end, he come through, but I'll tell you what, he was lucky to get through that quarter-final, and he knows it. I was speaking to him last night, and he's excited about this, mate, no bones about it. He loves pool. He thinks it's the old gunslinger's game. The snooker's a bit slow for him, but remember, he's a pool player. He was brought up on pool. He wasn't a snooker player turned to pool. If the snooker players think they can come in and do what Quinten Hann has done, they can't. This is his game.
All right, well, let's take a closer look at both these men in terms of what they've achieved so far. Starting with Quinten Hann, as we've just mentioned, he's from Australia, from Melbourne, just 22 years of age, and he only just turned 22. He's ranked 21 in the world in pool, but that'll soon change if he wins this one. His achievements so far have been in snooker, Grand Prix snooker quarter-finalist in '98 and '97, a Thailand Open snooker quarter-finalist, and he was the world under-21 snooker champion back in 1994. His opponent, Terry Hunt, a lot more experience in this particular game, the man from Sheffield, just down the road, really. He's ranked 7th in the world at the moment, and he was the UK Tour winner in '97, and in '95 and '96 went to the semi-finalists. But this time, he's finally cracked it and gone all the way to the final. Well, let's take a look at how both these men got to the final. Starting with Quinten Hann, he beat Daz Ward 8-4. Jason Twist, a good victory there, 8-6. Darren Appleton couldn't be closer, 9-8. And a lot of people thought that Darren Appleton would go on to win this, but he didn't. He only got through to the quarterfinals. In the semi-finals, a little bit easier for Quinten. Beat Yannick Beaufils of France 10-4. His opponent, Terry Hunt, beat Kevin Wright 8-3. Keith Brewer, finalist last year, he beat him 8-6. Neil Blake 9-4. And then another very close match against the world champion, Carl Morris. Terry Hunt coming through that one, just 10-9. But there was controversy in that particular match with Carl Morris. Now, as you know, Carl Morris is deaf, and in terms of the game itself, you have a minute to play your shot. And in Carl's case, to let him know that he's got just 30 seconds left, the referee gives him a visual tap on the table. Well, unfortunately, in this particular case, it didn't happen in the appropriate time. So Carl Morris was given a foul shot. And Alan, at the end of the day, it's worked out whereby it's caused him perhaps to lose the game. But what were your thoughts on that?
Very unfortunate for Carl. He was in a very difficult position anyway, let's not forget that. But there has been an apology from the tournament director. But at the end of the day, Carl sat down. If he'd have stood up and said, look, I wasn't happy, I don't think that worked, and then they may have looked at it at that time and things could have been different. But once you sit in your seat and the game progresses, then unfortunately that's the end of it. But as I say, he has had an apology from the tournament director, and they are looking into dealing with, for people with hearing impairments, In the future it will change.
All right, well, they are going to look into it, and that's good news. Well, let's turn our attention to the final now. Estelle Matthews is with both of the players as they prepare for their big night.
Thanks, Jonathan. Well, I'm with a very cool Quinten, dressed from head to foot in white. Do you feel as cool as you look?
No, I'm pretty relaxed. It's just going to treat it just another game.
You had a pretty easy last run, the semi-final with Yannick Beaufils. You cruised through that, really. Can you make light work of this final?
I think it's just the key is I've got to relax, and I was a little bit uptight at the start of the semi, and Yannick got 4-1 ahead. But then as soon as I started to relax, I played well, and yeah, I think that's going to be the key to the final. If I can settle down and relax early, maybe I could run away with it.
It doesn't bother you at all that this is your first big championship final?
No.
Nothing ruffles you, mate. It's unbelievable. Back to you, Jonathan.
It certainly doesn't bother him. Anybody who shows up in a full white suit for his first big final, Alan, confidence exudes, doesn't it?
Well, it just sums the man up, doesn't it? That's what he loves. As I say, he's out there in the middle, centre stage. That's where he wants to be. That's what he was brought up to be. That's what he loves.
Well, Quinten Hann is going to make an impression. Now, just shows you his confidence, because if it all falls flat for him and he's sitting there in that white suit, he's going to regret it perhaps, but it's not the kind of thing that he would, actually. He won't mind at all. He's going to enjoy this evening, whatever happens. What about his opponent, Terry Hunt? Let's find out how he's feeling.
Well, it's finally happened for Terry, his first World Championship final. Does that make you feel nervous at all?
Slightly, but the concentration and the occasion, I think, will override the nerves.
Terry, you're very good at keeping calm. You don't give much away on your face. What's going through your mind at the moment?
Just trying to get focused, go out there mentally prepared, rather than just going out there and not being prepared. That's the worst thing you can do. Looking forward to it, really up for this one. I'm looking forward to getting out there and playing some pool.
Now, you've never played this awesome Aussie, have you? So have you watched his game?
I have watched a couple of his games. I wouldn't say he's invincible, but he's quite good. He's quite close to being invincible. But I'm going to be out there to give him the best shot tonight.
Stay calm. Best of luck. Back to you, Jonathan.
Thanks, Estelle. Close to being invincible, and I think that just sums it up. He really has, in every way and shape, taken this game by storm, and people are worried about him, aren't they, Quinten Hann?
They are, but let's look back to the quarter and semi-final. He didn't put many balls off the break, and he still came through. If he puts balls off the break tonight, then what could happen? He could just run away with it. If he doesn't put balls off the break, then Terry knows he's got a chance. And he may say he looks invincible. Terry doesn't think he's invincible. He's playing it down. Oh, no, you put me on the spot. I've seen Terry play for years, and I'd love to see him win a world title. He's 33. He's not going to get many more chances. Quinten is. Quinten will win a world title. If not in this match, he'll win it in the future. But it's all been laid out. It's as if it's meant to be this year. He got through that quarter-final, and perhaps it's the year that the showman takes centre show.
Well, certainly in the case of Quinten Hann, it's a case of Saturday night fever. The question is, can Terry Hunt stop him strutting his stuff here tonight? Well, one man who knows all about disco, of course, is your very own MC, Alan Hughes.
Thank you, Jonathan, and first we welcome a young, unpredictable and multi-talented young man who has taken the pool world by storm, and this cock-a-hoop Aussie is a terrific entertainer and a box office smash all over the world. Ladies and gentlemen, from Melbourne, will you welcome, please, the exciting young hitman, Quinten Hann. And his opponent, Mr. Nice Guy, a cool, classy, talented player, coming good at just the right time, and in typical style, he has reached his first ever world final after years of trying to achieve the dream. Ladies and gentlemen, will you welcome into the Embassy World Final, the Sheffield Blade, Terry Hunt.
This is what it's all about, the blue ribbon event here in the 1999 Embassy World Pool Championships. Pull up a chair, get yourself a cup of tea. We are in for a real treat here. Terry Hunt, the man from Sheffield, the catalog man, they call him the Blade, in his first final here in Blackpool. And he's up against a tall order in the hitman Hann. Quinten Hann, white from head to toe. Terry Hunt has just kicked it off. It's an open table for Quinten Hann. And what a story Quinten has been here throughout this championship. He has been exuberance and flamboyance personified. And have a look at the suit. A la Kirk Stevens of the 1980s. The Ice Cream Man.
Red ball's in play.
Red's in play for Quinten. Absolutely vital to get off to a good start. Joining me in the commentary box, the captain of the Irish side, a former runner-up in this very event, knows what it's like to be out there on the final day under the hot television lights. Tony Holgate. Certainly, Tony. Quinten, the form that he has shown us all week, it's going to take some stopping.
That's right, Jim. Quinten Hann has been superb throughout his championships. And really, I'd have to say he's been getting better as the matches have been going on. But Terry Hunt has quietly moved himself into the final. He's knocked out the defending world champion. So you can't write Terry off. Great player.
In fact, en route to this final, these two players have taken out no less than 3 world champions, past and present, as well as 2 championship runner-ups. They have really gone through a minefield to get here, and the stage is set. Quinten Hann likes to take the bull by the horns when he plays this game. He doesn't want to get dragged down in any tactical battles.
Yellow balls to play.
First chance this for Terry Hunt. But Quinten was playing that shot knowing that had he miss it, it was definitely going to be his goalkeeper bottom left. Tony, what does Terry have to do here to see the finish line first?
Well, obviously he's got a couple of tough yellows down at the bottom left-hand side of the table. But he's still got to remove these 3 at the top. And there you see Terry Hunt pull his first ball of the world final. There's no real easy safety shot to play here. So I feel that Terry might want to ease himself in and try and pot a few of the balls, relax himself into the final.
Perfectly understandable. It's going to take a few frames for these boys to settle right in. But Terry with the opportunity here, as you see the yellow disappear, he's got the perfect angle on this now to drop on the real awkward one. That's the one nearest the bottom left corner. And should he drop on it, well, it was a big if.
Well, you'd fancy Terry Hunt to pot a ball of that sort of nature every time he went to the table. Can't believe he's missed it, really. Now he's given a pretty good chance to Quinten Hann.
Right away after the awkward red, right center. But Quinten, obviously knowing that the black is not as available as he would like, might want to think out his attack pattern here. You can see all the Australian supporters for Hann. He's carrying their flag and their champion. He wants to carry it right back to Australia with the world title. Perfectly still over the cue.
That's an immaculate shot there from Quinten Hann. What position for the 8-ball.
Slots the 8 into the center of the top pocket, and the Australian Wizard has taken the first frame here in this best of 21 final. He leads Terry Hunt 1-0.
Second frame, Quinten Hann to break, leading 1 frame to 0. Foul.
We've seen that quite often, and especially into that pocket with Quinten when he breaks off.
1 visit.
Another look at it.
Open table. Time
Very
up.
important at this level. You've got to keep that cue ball on the table. Well, it doesn't matter whether he chooses yellows or reds. Neither one of them are a straightforward finish here. Tony, he may be forced into taking yellows just because of the situation in the top corner.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right, Jim. Can't take the red balls, not with that red sat behind those 2 yellows. Be putting yourself straight in trouble.
Come on.
And that's unbelievable miss.
Come on. Come on.
Well, he's really got to get himself sorted. Up off the cue very quickly. I think he was trying to convince himself that that yellow was in.
Well, I was talking to Terry Hunt just before the final, and I said to him, I said, how do you feel? He says, I feel pretty calm. I've got a couple of butterflies, but I'm pretty calm. And I said to him, I said, you wait till you walk out in that arena when it's full. I said that might change your opinion on it all.
There's nothing the matter with being nervous, Tony. If you're not nervous, you're not ready. This is a big occasion, the biggest he's ever faced.
Well, I think he is nervous, Jim. I think he was trying to mask it a little bit. You know, he's had 2 semi-finals previously and not made the final.
Yellow ball's in play.
And now he's in the final. I'll tell you, when I walked out there in '96, I was welling up inside. It's some feeling to walk out in a world final.
And the stakes are very high. The title of world champion.
30 seconds.
Certain financial considerations go along with that as well. £10,000 the eventual winner will be taking home. The loser will be consoled with a check for £5,000.
Red balls to play.
Another look at it. The definition of containment right there.
Seconds.
What an opening shot that is for Terry Hunt. That'll go a long ways to restoring his confidence. And that won't hurt either.
We've got a lot of work to do though, Jim, but a great shot anyway.
After 2 shots, he's given himself a chance at the second frame. when it looked like he was in dire peril.
Just that little problem at the bottom of the table. You see Terry Hunt looking at those two reds. That's his main concern now in this frame. As you can see, the red ball does go past the yellows into the corner, but it's quite tight. And also, he's got to get the cue ball there first, Jim. Just about made it. Dead straight.
Well, obviously, the red above looks to be slightly easier. The one below might offer more positional values, but it doesn't have a full pocket. Another look at it. I have a feeling he intended just to flutter the white forward a little bit, Tony.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Jim. He meant to be on the other red ball. But what a great shot from Terry Hunt. The cue ball control there. Absolutely immaculate.
He had to play that with loads of left-hand side as he looked. And this is as good a finish as you're going to see. What a message he's sending to Quinten Hann right here. Down goes the 8 in the same pocket that it was deposited by Hann. And Terry Hunt has tied it up in this, the championship final, 1-1.
Well, Terry Hunt showing no signs of intimidation there. And what a game, Alan.
I just said it's 2-0 to Quinten. Terry can't win, it's impossible. And then he plays the two shots he's played. That's the best finish I've seen in the televised stages. Here's the second part of it. And even when he's potted that, look where the reds are still. That was amazing. Quinten knows what he's up against now.
And here again, lovely little touch on that.
He's played that with a lot of left-hand side. The white ball would have come up to the bottom end of the table, but he's checked the ball across. Absolutely superb.
It's one apiece. Both men have set their stall out. Let's get back to it.
Yes, the message is ringing through the auditorium loud and clear. The rockets are going to be flaring from these two.
First frame, Terry Hunt to break.
Firing from the hip. Terry Hunt all set to break. Frame number 3.
Tell you what, Jim, those two yellows saved the white ball there. I'll tell you. White ball is going straight in the top left-hand corner.
Red ball's in play.
Here you see Terry Hunt's break. The cue ball's there, sailing to the corner, and the two yellows stop it. What about that for an interception?
Well, he's nominated the reds. His first red might be his most difficult.
30 seconds.
Well, still a smattering of applause. I think Terry thought that red was in. It certainly is over the pocket, and the yellow nearest it is in the danger zone for Quinten Hann.
The main thing is that Terry did pot a red from the break, so he's automatically on the red balls. So Quinten's got a lot of problems still if he's going to win this frame.
.30 seconds.
Former winners on the UK tour, Darren Appleton, Mick Hill right beside him. Stalwarts on the English side. And what a crowd. Find an empty seat here.
.30 seconds.
Not often you see Quinten Hann playing safety shots, Jim. But I'll tell you what, Terry Hunt's the one that's still in the driving seat in this frame. What a lovely shot there. He's played the plant. He's also held onto the red into the centre pocket.
Well, he said at the outset, as we see the plant again, deposited that he felt that Quinten Hann was not invincible. Right now, he's playing like a player that's invincible.
Yeah, he's showing the signs now that he's settled. With every ball he's taking on, you can see the confidence oozing out of Terry Hunt. Here he goes, he's playing a bit aside again. And that was a bit of a rash one from Terry.
Yes, when you apply side, effectively the shot becomes 5 to 10 times more difficult depending on the distance between the cue ball and the object ball. It was a good testament to that.
Well, Quinten Hann, he hasn't been tested with any of those long pots that he had in previous matches. He was having problems with a couple of them. And for a top-class snooker player as well, you know, you'd fancy him to knock him. Having said that, judging by what he's wearing, I think he's got pool fever, Jim. But like I say, the ones he has been potting have all been pretty close to the pocket. Good control, though, Jim.
Well, it's all going to be about this yellow nearest our picture. And Quinten right now is going to try and get that yellow inside that red.
He's going to play the yellow ball into the jaw first. If you play it into the jaw, there's a little angle on the jaw and it will shunt the yellow into the red. And I was about to say it into the pocket. And he knows he should have potted that.
Yes, it had to be hit perfect, and you could see it just caught the red on the way in, millimeters away from being perfect.
Yeah, the clip on the red there kept the ball out of the pocket. Terry Hunt's got an easy chance of snooker here. He should be playing his red at the bottom of the table, bottom left-hand side of the table. The red I'm talking about is this one here. Well, I thought he'd be playing that one. I'll leave the cue ball at the bottom, but he's played the other. I know what Terry's trying to do there. He's trying to use the other red to cover the part of the cue ball from going up and down the table, but I don't think he's achieved that. Well, I feel the only way he's going to get out of this snooker and not leave anything for Terry is to strike the cue ball up to the top of the table, off this top cushion, and then down the other side, past the black, and into the yellow that way. Well, he's going to try off 3 cushions. I'll tell you what, this isn't far away, Jim. Oh. I'll tell you what, if you hit it harder, you probably put on it, Jim.
What a shot this is. Still the pressure right on Terry Hunt. Now it is over the jaws. Next time he hits it, it will drop. And look at the situation. Talk about turning the tables.
Well, the thing is, Jim, is like when you got an opponent playing shots like that against you, you start wondering whether it's worthwhile snookering him. And then you're not playing the game you normally play.
And now the one cushion escape is there. So even if Terry does play the snooker, where Quinten has developed that yellow, he's in the driver's seat.
That's right, but what I'm trying to say is that Terry will probably be frightened to play this now because he'll think Quinten will come out and pop the yellow this time, and then he'll pop the black. All depends what's going through Terry's head at the moment. There you see him, he's not decisive about it, is he? Well, I've got to say, I do fancy Quinten to get this. He's not happy with that shot at all, Terry Hann.
Well, there may even be space between the cushion and the red. What a mistake that was from Terry Hunt. I think Terry was upset because he thought he left the top cushion. He should have come and had a look here. Well, Quinten Hann has just picked Terry Hunt's pocket with that frame. He now leads 2-1. Breaks off in frame number 4. It's a best of 21 men's final. Every time Hann breaks from the center of the table, that white goes dangerously close to that top corner.
I think as he pulls his arm back, Jim, I think he's actually striking the cube with side every time. And that's why he's pulling the white ball back in the same direction.
Yellow ball's in play.
Good long yellow. It doesn't look to have been awarded with another starting here for to keep the yellows going here for Terry Hunt. I think he might be looking for the tall grass somewhere, Tony.
30 seconds. Red balls to play.
Yeah, Terry Hunt had nothing on there. Just trying to develop his yellows now. But I'll tell you what, you can't keep giving Quinten Hann chances. So he does like to get in amongst it. Quinten will be going for the out here, Jim.
Again, a sure cueing action to be able to slot those in. Still on his choice of reds. Problem one as the Australian side look on and probably wonder, as do we, is the red on the left cushion. That's going to be the problem red for Quinten. And now it's worse. You can see what he was trying here. Again, such an aggressive player with bags of confidence. If only he could pot, Tony.
Hold on to your hats.
Almost sounded like he miscued.
I think he double kissed that, Jim. He's playing it with a lot of right hand side, and I think he got the cue ball in the way of the red. There you see it's come back and it's kissed the cue ball again. and that's veered it off up the other side of the table. Good safety shot there from Terry Hunt. I don't think Quinten will be coming out of this snooker. And if he plays the right shot here, he won't even attempt to come out of the snooker. Knowing Quinten will probably try and play a masse out the gap and pot the red in the top corner.
30 seconds. Bell. 2 visits.
Well, there you say Quinten's played the foul. He hasn't attempted to come out of the snooker, and rightly so. Too tough a call.
Well, he's pretty adept at the little intricacies as well as being able to slot them in.
Second visit.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Terry Hunt snooker him again. Now he's going game. Well, the balls are there, but just felt there was an easier option to snooker and make sure of the frame, but I think that might be because of what's happened before, Jim, with Quinten and getting out of snookers.
Well, there's no reason for Terry to adapt a different style than what brought him to this final. He's an aggressive player, too. If he starts changing his game, if nothing else, it'll show that he's being intimidated by Quinten Hann, because I really don't think that Terry Hunt wants to turn it into a potting battle. He just wants to take the chances when they come. Well, forcing. So many times we've seen the balls refused when they've been hit at pace. And even though that was in the pocket, at that speed, the 8 down, and Quinten Hann now leading by 2 frames over Terry Hunt at 3-1 in this race to 11.
Well, Terry Hunt will rue that miss for sure. A big miss by him when he could have cleared up. Alan, you were watching it, and he can't make those kind of mistakes against Quinten, can he?
No, he can't. He had the finish on. You see the yellow, he missed it in the top corner. He ran out of position, that was the problem. But what Quinten's done is he's made it so difficult for Terry. He got out the snooker in the frame before. Terry doesn't know where to leave the white ball. He's frightened to leave it in a position where Quinten's going to come out and put him under even more pressure. And the danger is that he's going to start going for finishes that he can't get. He's only won 1 frame up to now, and that was a science fiction finish. So is he going to have to do that 11 times?
It's an intriguing battle indeed. Terry Hunt has got to hold on to him though now. He's down 3-1. He's to break off. Let's join our commentary team.
So Terry Hunt with a world of thoughts going through his mind right now.
3 frames to 1.
Breaks off. I'm sure of the two, Quinten Hann feeling much more relaxed and comfortable, enjoying a 3-1 lead.
Yellow ball potted.
Open table. Another look at the break. Yellow down off the break, and yellows do look a treat if only he can find an easy starter.
Yellow ball's in play. Red ball's to play.
The thing with Terry Hunt, Jim, is he's a confidence player. Likes to know that he's queuing well, likes to be a couple of frames in front. And I just feel that, well, I just hope he doesn't let his head go down too quickly.
We had quite an international semi-final here with France being represented as well as Australia and England. Well, Terry's played some pretty bad shots in this final to this point, and this one has to rank right up there.
There's really no excuse really for missing the pot by that far. Terry's still favourite for the frame at the moment, though.
Strictly because of his control of the top right end of the table with the yellow over the pocket. Good pot, this one. And over onto one of the awkward reds, top right. Solves 50% of the problem.
Seconds.
Well, he made an attempt to get back behind there then. So he's played a double with a red across. And as you see, the red ball just double kisses yellow and it didn't quite manage it.
This is still a big chance for Terry. 3-1 down. Knows he's played one very reckless shot already in this frame. He can still manufacture a win.
Terry's, like I said before, is a strong favourite for this frame, and if he doesn't win this frame, he really will be kicking himself. He can't afford to go 4-1 behind. Don't forget, in the semi-finals, Quinten Hann was 4-1 behind against Yannick Beaufils and came back to win that match, taking 9 frames in a row. So Quinten's shown that he can come back from behind, but Terry Hunt is going to have it all to do if he doesn't win this frame.
Seconds.
Still looks pretty comfortable in his chair. The posture of a very confident player.
Top the cushion. 30 seconds.
It was a very canny shot from Terry there, purposely cannoning the black up towards a pocket that he controls.
Yeah, for me, Jim, that shot's a winner. See, Terry's looking pretty calm again now.
Seconds.
There's the position. Missed the pot. But he's left that cue ball behind the red. I don't know whether Terry can get through to the one on the bottom cushion. Doesn't appear he can.
At the end of the day, Jim, this is an easy snooker to get out of. Well, as you can see, you can just see it. But even if he couldn't, it was still an easy snooker.
30 seconds.
There you see the yellow depart to the top end of the table. That's where all the action's going to be.
Well, Quinten has to do something, and he's got to do it on this shot. He's got to change the situation somehow here, because right now Terry Hunt has game on. That alleviates one of the problems. Right into the yellow, and the red drops, clearing the pocket.
Well, I think that one's a little bit fortunate there, Jim. He was trying to get it up there, but he was trying to get inside the ball rather than hit it full like that. And Quinten's played that snooker, but for me, this is still an easy snooker to get out of. He's got a yellow ball very near the red ball he's snookered behind. And you do feel that he should hit this.
Well, he has to hit this. If he gives away a foul in 2 visits, he'll be a sitting duck.
30 seconds. Foul.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was careless from Terry Hunt. He actually went to pot that.
Tempting fate, really, Tony. He didn't need to hit it that hard. Got a bit greedy. And now with the 2 visits, Quinten Hann will be able to clear the reds and use the second visit to clear the black.
I think Quinten Hann is trying to get a black out now. No, he's not. I stand corrected now. I just thought when he left that angle, he was going to smash the ball in and kick the black out in his first go.
Well, it appears as though he's going to manufacture a victory. Again, from what looked to be a defeat here. How psychological, from a damaging perspective, can this be? These body blows that Hann is administering to Terry Hunt.
He's left that a little bit short of where he'd like to be. But he's going to try and get this over to the left-hand top corner. And that looks pretty good to me.
Second visit.
Quinten Hann is doing it the way it says in the book right now. He leads Terry Hunt by 4 frames to 1 in the best of 21 final. The 6th frame sees Quinten Hann breaking off still from the middle of the table. And that time he imparted top, Tony, to purposely keep the cue ball topside.
Open table.
Still, his ratio for success is 0.
Yeah, he's changed his break, isn't he?
It's stunning, really, how poorly Quinten Hann has broken off in this event. Now he still continues to win.
Yeah, he put a lot of top on the cue ball there. You saw it run through past the middle pocket. But as you said, getting nothing off the break, Jim. When you do play the cue ball top when you break, you do lose a bit of power out of the break. For me, the best thing to do is to punch the cue ball right in the dead centre and just give him a big wallop.
black in the center of the table available bottom left. So when Terry deposits these 3 yellows, he's going to want to ensure to be able to leave the cue ball the right-hand side of the table as we look. Now the key positional shot for Terry. But so many things on the negative side of the scale have happened. There have to be doubts. And that was played beautifully. Big shot here to stem the tide. Down goes the 8, and Terry Hunt has pulled one back. He still trails Quinten Hann by 4 frames to 2. And this was a very nice positional shot for Terry. He had to avoid contacting the red to leave the simple of black. Well, he's looked pretty relaxed from the outset. 4-2 down. And the order of the day right now would be a break and finish right here, just to keep the heat on Quinten Hann.
Seventh frame, Terry Hunt to break, trailing 4 frames to 2.
Success ratio with the breaks have been very good. Again, an open table for Terry.
Yellow ball's nominated.
Again, slightly different style employed.
Again, that's a loose shot from Terry Hunt. You can't afford to miss balls like that in a world final. I mean, that's not how he got here. He wasn't missing them before. I have to say, Jim, I think Quinten's rattled Terry a bit.
30 seconds.
I mean, Terry Hunt, knowing Terry, I've played pool with Terry now for, it's got to be 10 years at least.
Yellow ball's in play.
And Terry Hunt is one of, he's a great pressure player. And he's definitely rattled. It's not often you see that from him.
Purposely trying to clear the reds and potting that yellow. With each miss, Terry Hunt is allowing Quinten Hann to grow in confidence and self-belief. When you start feeling like you can get away with errors of your own and still be in with a chance to win a frame, that's like a security blanket you carry around with you.
30 seconds.
Time out. Time. Time running.
Being a snooker player as well, Quinten Hann very at home with the rest.
Time out.
Once again, calls for the spider. An implement used to cue over an obstructing ball, in this case the 8. But difficult to do anything really with the cue ball. Use the wrong side of this to be able to get up table for the yellows.
Yeah, he's made the pot very well, but he's pulled the cue ball back too far. As you said, Jim, there's no way he's going to get to the top of the table off this.
$30 seconds.
Red balls to play.
Yeah, he's showing his awareness now of the game, is Quinten. Played a good tactical shot just to contain Terry. I mean, he did look at first, didn't he? He looked to see how he could get up to the top of the table off that ball in the middle. I'll tell you what, if he'd have done that, I'd have even given you that 5-0, you, Jim.
30 seconds.
Well, looking at his shots available, I feel his only shot is to play the red into the other red in the centre of the table. And, well, he's trying to cover the black ball. I think he might have done it. Well, you see, it definitely goes into the centre pocket, but I think the red ball is guarding that from the corner. That doesn't go down in the corner. No chance.
$30 seconds.
Clever shot from Quinten. He tried to play the snooker, but he was also trying to get the yellow ball down the bottom half of the table, so it's near the black, gives him a better chance of moving it.
I think Terry might have just had a look at the in-off here, possibly playing that red off the yellow into the center pocket. Right here in the center of the table, red off the yellow into the center. He came and had a quick look. Again, I don't know whether the shot's on, but he doesn't have a lot of options. Well, he swerved around the yellow and just about potted that. And as it sits right now, Quinten Hann has an outside chance. As you noted, Tony, that 8 only available left center. So what yellow avails position to be able to get right in behind that 8 ball?
Well, I think he's got to leave the yellow that's next to the red ball in the centre of the table till last. Try and leave it with an angle. The angle being...
Another look at it here. You can see what Quinten Hann's looking at right now, just to see if he brings the cue ball back over into this area here to pot the yellow, the bottom corner, and stun the cue ball right down for the 8. Just in the circle.
I'd have felt the better option was to play the yellow into the centre pocket. get the cue ball to the other side of the table, but what do I know, Jim?
He's just making it look so easy. The difficult aspects of this game are child's play to Quinten Hann right now. 5-2 up on Terry Hunt.
Hand to break, leading 5 frames to 2.
So now Quinten Hann breaking from the side of the table, 5-2 in front.
Well, you see that, Jim? He moved the cue ball to the other side of the table and he decided not to hit the front ball of the pack. He hit the side of the pack.
Time out.
There you see him hit the side of the pack. He's got a tremendous split, really, but still no luck with nothing off the break.
Well, he's still finding some humor in it. Well, we're not exactly sure what happened out there, but everybody's having a good laugh anyway.
Time running.
Well, I guess there was a moth on the table that our referee had to dispose of.
Yellow ball's in play.
The game's tough enough, Tony. The yellow's on here, and there's no reason for Terry Hunt not to complete the clearance at 5-2 down. He understands how important this visit is. Failure here would just allow Quinten Hann to grow more than he already has in confidence.
Tell you what, Terry Hunt speeded up as well. Doesn't seem to be hesitating now. He's just getting down. He's banging the balls in. He's trying to regain his confidence. And that's a pretty good shot. Just brings the cue ball back about 3 inches. Black in the top left-hand corner. In fact, if he does have an angle, he can run the cue ball through. Yes, he's running through for the black. And that's a pretty good finish from Terry Hunt. Sure, he's going to get his black.
A quick fire visit from Terry Hunt into the bank for a victory here in frame 8. It's 5-3 to the Australian Quinten Hann.
And Terry Hunt replying as only he should, quickening his game and trying to show that he can play, and he is proving to be quite a combatant.
Yes, we saw him speed up a little bit then. He watched it a little bit at the end. He took a bit of time over this shot. If you watch this one, he didn't want to run out of position on the black, but before that it was noticeable. He's around the table quick. And he's letting Quinten Hann know, look, you've had me against the ropes. You've given me a couple of punches, but hang on a minute, I'm still back in here. Yeah. You'll have to do a bit more if you're going to beat me.
The key, certainly, for Terry Hunt now is to not lose this sort of play and make sure he holds on to Quinten Hann. It's 5-3 at the moment. It's intriguing. Let's get back to it.
Yes, Jonathan, but easier said than done. Sometimes you have to be allowed the opportunity. And right away, he departs. Quinten Hann with the cue ball in hand will be coming to the table. Just one visit, though, off the break.
And that's an awesome split, Jim, as well. Look, he got a couple of balls as well as the cue ball. And Terry would have loved to have been having this finish. But it's not to be. It's a young Australian who's coming to the table. All in white and dynamite.
Red ball's in play.
He's already weighed up the sequence in his mind, exactly how to remove these reds. He wants to lead the one over the center for last. So pocket this one, and the red in the same corner next that he's just shown you.
Absolutely perfect, Jim. Drops this red in. There she goes. As Quinten glides around the table. Simple red into the middle, black into the top left-hand corner. And I think we're going to be seeing 6-3 to Mr. Hann.
Confirmation of that scoreline, and replying just as quickly is Quinten Hann. 6-3 in front now of Terry Hunt. Last red left there on purpose because it availed the best position to the 8. And we detected a wry smile from Terry Hunt. He knew he was a little unlucky to go in off when he broke the pack.
Doesn't really matter anyway. I'm not going to follow.
10th frame, Quinten, hands are right.
Yes, everyone in the house really being treated to some top flight, first class pool here. Courtesy of Terry Hunt and the man at the table, Quinten Hann. It's the 1999 Embassy World Pool Championships from the Stackus Hotel in Blackpool. And there's your entertainer. He's on center stage and doing the business.
Yeah, he looks to be really enjoying himself out there, Jim, doesn't he?
Nominated.
Very cool customer. Tell you what, I think it'd be hard to upset him. I think if Terry even chucked blackcurrant over him, I don't think that'd upset him.
30 seconds.
The man is flying.
Yellow ball's in play.
When you're such a confident potter as Quinten is, and you control the white, there's virtually no position on the table that you can't develop.
I'll tell you what, Terry Hunt is going to really have to dig deep. He's in the battle of his life against the Wizard of Oz. This looks pretty simple again now. Just that yellow ball that's sat right next to the black. He's got to deposit into a pocket. He gets rid of that one. And it's another fast frame.
Well, Tony, this is our 7th season here for the Embassy World Championships. And you and I have seen it all. And to date, I don't think we've ever witnessed anyone in such a commanding position as Quinten Hann is. In complete control and in devastating form.
Well, if you remember last year, Keith Brewer against Carl Morris, the final then. Keith Brewer went 3-0 up and got beat 11-5. That was an incredible result, so, you know, there's still hope yet. But at the moment, he's got to get to the table as Terry Hunt.
I think it's the effortless fashion that he goes through the motions, though. That's so impressive. It's staggering how he does it. It makes it look so easy. Again, another frame goes the way of Hann, and he really is dictating the pace here in Blackpool. Now 7-3 in front of Terry Hunt.
Well, you've heard of the great white sharks off the barrier reef. Well, it looks as though Melbourne have got its great white of its own in the form of Quinten Hann. And talking of whites, Alan, I mean, it is his positioning on the white ball that's been brilliant, isn't it?
He manipulates the white ball better than anybody I've ever seen on this big table. This looks innocuous enough, but he needs to get good position on this last yellow. It's not easy. He's fell on it into the centre, not quite straight. Look how he pumps that one in, drops on the black. So easy, so smooth cueing. And well, he's not going to miss any of these blacks, is he?
Terry's had a little moment to think about it. Well, what can he do now?
Well, he's got to sit back and think, I'm 7-3 down, but I could have easily won 2 or 3 more frames. If he'd have just won 2 frames, he's had an unlucky in-off. 1 break, he went in-off. He wins them 2, it's 5-all. That's how 8-ball changes. But 4 behind, somehow you think that it's already written, isn't it?
I was going to say, you talk about the fact that Terry hasn't had the luck, perhaps, but do you think he can change it round? I mean, he's breaking well, he's playing well.
I just feel this is Quinten Hann's year. I think he's going to win. In the quarterfinals, he had no luck. Dan Appleton had the match on a plate, and he missed his chances. In the semi-final, no disrespect to the Frenchman, but, you know, that's not who he expected to play in the semi. He'd have expected a much more difficult match. And now in the final, Terry, and he's raced 7-3 clear, and now he's just enjoying himself.
Well, as you can hear, a round of applause as the players return to the arena, and a huge roar. What an atmosphere. Can Terry Hann hold himself together and come back? It looks unlikely at the moment, but don't ever count him out. Let's go back to our commentary team once again to pick up the action.
7 frames to 3.
To a finish. 7-3 Quinten Hann, frame 11 of a possible 21. Terry Hunt to get it all started here. We had a quick word with Terry right after that last frame, Tony, and he was saying to us that it was the early frames that he thought forged this deficit now that he sees. He could easily, as Alan and Jonathan in the studio well noted, could easily have been 5 each at the interval. 4 frames down, much tougher to come back, but he's still got to take it 1 frame at a time and try and claw his way back into this. He's had chances. He's got to content himself with that.
30 seconds.
That's right, Jim. He's got to put the scoreline out of his head. He's got to get up to the table and think, what I need is this 1 frame now. And then do that frame after frame. He starts thinking, Christ, I need 4 or 5 frames or whatever. He's in a lot of trouble.
Beautifully developed, the 2 awkward reds. Another look at it. Couldn't have played that any better. And all of a sudden, as we've seen so often, a seemingly impossible position, this talented Australian has developed it into one of some promise.
Another lovely shot there from Quinten Hann. And this is just what Terry Hunt doesn't need.
The red in the middle of the table, Tony, looks like it is available bottom right. Quinten just there purposely killing the pace of the white. Now he'll play this with follow. Well, he may have to screw back. You see the red departing. It's his choice how he plays this.
Well, I wouldn't be playing it this way. That is a very, very poor shot from Quinten Hann.
That red was on, Tony. Why didn't he play the red bottom right?
I haven't got a clue, Jim. This is some big pot. There's another about position where you could put him like that, Jim.
He's making this 4x8 pool table look like it's a toy table out there. Never have we seen pool played at this level. Quinten Hann 8-3 in front of Terry Hunt.
12th frame, Quinten Hann to break.
Already with a
Leading
firm
8 frames
grip
to 3.
on the trophy is Quinten Hann, breaking off here in frame number 12. 8-3 in front, and the white into the center pocket. Is this the opportunity that Terry Hunt has been waiting for?
1 visit, open table, time running.
I'll tell you what, Quinten's been a bit fortunate there. He's gone in off the break, but neither colour's easy.
Well, the billiard gods tend to favor the ambitious.
Red ball's in play.
And what a lot of work he has to do looking at the reds here. That whole left-hand side of the table as we see it.
Yeah, he's done the right thing, it's Terry. There's no finish on there, so he's covered the pocket and left Quinten Hann snookered. There you see him put the bottom red over the left-hand corner pocket. And what you'll see Terry trying to do in the next couple of shots is get the awkward reds out into the open.
Not total snooker.
And try and get himself a finish left on.
Well, that means a cushion has to be contacted after white contacts yellow. Well, that escape negotiated. Little Massey shot there. That's a useful shot, certainly in this game. You can see what Terry Hunt's intentions are. He's trying to slow Quinten down. Taking control of the bottom of the table as we look. Quinten's had his foot on the gas pedal almost from the outset of this match, racing to an 8-3 lead.
30 seconds.
Well, this is the type of game that I feel Quinten's a bit unsure about, the tactical game.
30 seconds.
Terry Hunt is going to try and get these reds out now. Get them into the middle of the table and put the pressure on Quinten Hann during this frame. I'm sure he tried to get them out there. Tried to cut his red up the top, but they're still there.
Foul.
And Quinten Hann there belts the yellow ball and pots the red in the corner, giving 2 shots to Terry Hunt. I think he thought he could get the yellow pass there, or at least cannon the red out, Jim. How about you?
Well, I don't believe he intended to give 2 shots away. That's certainly no mystery.
And out they come, Jim. He's used his first visit up, getting the reds out. And that's a lovely strike of the ball. He's used up one of his visits, but all the reds are in the open, and so is the black.
Yes, it was awkward cueing there near the cushion. Nick Hill, one of the good young English players, very highly touted. And Terry Hunt pulls one back. He stopped the three-frame rot. It's still a one-sided scoreline, though. 8-4 to Quinten Hann. Still 4 frames behind Sheffield-based Terry Hunt, the number 7 ranked player in the world, breaks off.
Open table.
Well, it's just not happening for Terry off the break at the moment. I think Quinten Hann might be looking at the reds. If he can get that red that's in between the 2 yellows at the top of the table. This is the red.
30 seconds.
Just here. Well, he's going for the yellows. Well, I'm a little surprised there because the red we just showed you there is blocking the yellow. Maybe it's deceived us, maybe it isn't blocking the yellow, but it looks very close to me.
Just wanted to swing around that to leave the yellow bottom left. He's still got it. But I've got a feeling, Tony, he's left that one yellow nearest the head string line, or the bulk line, as it's called here. That's the one he's going to use to try and develop the awkward yellow. He's got the right angle on it now. So here we go. Going to take the cue ball into that red and yellow, and he's got the bumper there. So if he does contact it dead on, he can still leave the other yellow to the same pocket. There you go. And now the frame is on. He manufactures winning positions.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jim. I think that's a spacesuit he's wearing because he's playing from another planet at the moment. Big shot.
Superlatives can you use to describe the way that Quinten Hann is going about his trade here? 9-4 now in front of Terry Hunt.
Well, he's quite inspiring, isn't he, to watch? Superb pull there by Quinten Hann as he goes further and further ahead. Really, Terry is looking less and less like coming back, really.
I can't see Terry coming back. Let's remember that last year, Quinten Hann was 7-3 up. Let's look at this shot first. Yellow ball into the top left, kissing out the red. He knew he was going to play that shot at some stage. He's played it perfectly. Going back to the issue of tonight's match, well, I can't see him coming back, but last year he was 7-3 up on Lee Kendall. Best of 15, Lee come back and won the last 5 frames. But not for me tonight.
A little bit of hope perhaps for Terry Hunt, but not much. This man is on fire right now.
14th frame, Quinten Hann to break, leading 9 frames to 4.
Wanting just 2 more frames to have his name engraved on the most prestigious cup the pool world has to offer.
Red Bull's nominated.
Well, it's a great split, is that, Jim? Reds or yellows? He's took the reds.
Red Bull's in play.
I mean, you just can't imagine the fella missing, can you?
Well, very dissimilar to most of the players here, too. He uses a maple cue, I noticed, as we see the red that he pots. And most of the players play with ash, but probably with it being a lot drier in Australia, the maple is better suited, and that's what he was brought up with. It's a custom cue again made by John Paris. But doesn't he make it work?
Absolutely perfect. Every shot he plays is just spot on, Jim.
Just one frame now required. Terry Hunt to break now, frame 15. Is there any response that he can find? His back's against the wall. And that probably sums up Terry Hunt's final here.
I was just about to say that tells you the story. Terry Hunt, big splash of the break. He's gone off in the right-hand centre pocket. And poor old Terry, the breaks have really let him down tonight.
Well, I think even the way that Quinten Hann has performed here, Terry Hunt,
Yellow ball's in play.
In A1 form. Had he brought his A game here, might still have been second best to this man. It has been a systematic demolition job here. Took apart the young Frenchman Yannick Beaufils in the semifinals, 10-4. And 4 frames is all that Terry Hunt has mustered here in the final.
Tried to kick the yellow out. He's just 4 balls away from being crowned world champion.
Got the nice angle on this yellow to be able to get the cue ball over for the opposite cushion.
Well, he left it a bit short there. I think he's a little bit worried about going in off in the centre pocket. So he just held back a little bit with that shot. This is thin. And he's overcut it. Terry Hunt still in the match.
Red balls to play. Come on. Come on.
You just wouldn't believe Terry Hunt could miss that pot. That speaks 1,000 words. It's nearly over the bag. And Terry's given up the ghost.
Come on.
This black for the World Championship.
Down it goes, an absolutely awe-inspiring performance from the 22-year-old from Down Under. He is the 1999 Embassy World Pool Champion. And have we been witness to the start of a reign that might last for years and years? This man is the best pool player in the world, and he just showed everyone here and everyone at home what it is going to take to beat him. The crowd applauds, and they're on their feet. They have just been witness, as have we, to one of the best players and performances that we've ever seen here.
First of all, let me say commiserations to you, Terry. What could you have done there?
I missed quite a few, to be honest, but Quinten, to be fair, did not miss many at all, did he?
But you were still playing out of your skin. The very first frame that you won, I mean, the guys here thought that was the best finish in the tournament, so it's not as if you weren't pulling out all the stops.
I felt good to start with. Missed a couple of easy chances, to be fair, in one or two of the games, and Quinten just took it away. He just kept, once he got 3 or 4 frames in front, it was very hard work.
Well, the great thing is you've made it to the final, and I know you'll be back again. Let's talk to this amazing Australian. Well done, Quinten. You said you'd do it, and you did a demolition job there.
I didn't make many mistakes in the final. I don't think I can play much better than that. My only weakness was I think I missed quite a few balls off the break, as I've done in the whole tournament. But after the quarterfinal with Darren Appleton, I think I was very lucky to win that.
I think you need to talk to yourself a bit more. The one time you said, I'm not going to do this anyway, you pulled out the most amazing break, didn't you?
Yeah, I think it's maybe the break's in my head a bit, that I can't hit them hard enough or something. I don't know what's wrong with it, but apart from that, I was playing great. I was making a lot of outs, and my game can't get any better than that.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, now we come to the presentation party, consisting of Graham Blashill, the Managing Director, Imperial Tobacco UK Limited, accompanied by George Harwood, our Tournament Director. Thank you, gentlemen. And now, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, to the runner-up. It's a cheque for £5,000, and our congratulations for a wonderful tournament, and it goes to Terry Hunt. And now we come to the winner. It's a cheque for £10,000, the magnificent trophy and the title of the 1999 Embassy World 8-Ball Pool Champion goes to Australia's Quinten Hann. Quinten Hann, ladies and gentlemen, a great champion.
Well, Quinten Hann celebrated his 22nd birthday here in Blackpool, but the man in white has certainly come of age as a player tonight. From all of us here at Blackpool, good night.